Hi, and welcome to the start of our crafting system. It was requested in the comments, so I figured we needed to add it, right? We are going to be making this. If you press C, you're going to get a crafting menu. Currently, I don't have anything in there in the building or decor, so I'm not going to click that. But in our survival, we have a couple of items. This is a test item that we can craft. You can see the requirements is up top, and what we have is at the bottom. If I click craft, it's going to take away one of that we have, and it's going to give us the result. Currently, it's giving us charcoal. If I get a full inventory, it's not going to craft anymore. If I throw out our iron, it's going to craft our final one. And also anvils, if I go and click that, I can make an axe, for example. It's going to cost me 2 steak. Nothing happens because I'm full. And there we go. I just created an axe. Bad example, but so you got the requirements here, and then you got what we have here. And yeah, that's pretty much the crafting system. Hopefully you enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, welcome to the first episode of our crafting system. Today we're going to be working with our HUD mainly. We might add some functionality to it. So in our content folder, we're going to add a new folder. We're going to call this one crafting. I'm going to set the color of that to be green as well. Inside of here, we're going to add a new widget user blueprint. I'm going to call this one crafting menu. Inside of crafting menu, you can dock that. We need a size box inside of our menu. We're going to override this by, let's do 800 by 500. You can do this whatever you want, obviously. Inside of the size box, a border, you know the drill. This border is going to have a padding of 4 in all sides. I'm going to do a brush color of a darker one. Inside of this border, we're going to add a vertical box. Inside of that vertical box, we're going to add a text box. Text. This text is going to be crafting menu text. Don't have to be variable on that. Change that to a different color. I'm going to do like a darkish, maybe a bit bigger, 20, 28 maybe. Center that to the middle horizontally. Justify that to the middle as well. And we're going to type in crafting menu. I'm also going to do a shadow outline of that. Maybe of like 0.6, just so it pops out a little bit. Underneath that text, we're going to add a border. Make that a bit darker. That looks fine. On our under our border, we're gonna add a wrap box. Not under our border, sorry, under our vertical box. This one is gonna be variable, and it's gonna be called crafting category wrap box. What we want to do before we continue here, we want to make a new widget blueprint. This one is gonna be WBP craft. Gonna add a size box to this. Height override and width override of 600 by 400. The side on screen. And a board and another board. First one, I'll pad that 2 to each sides. Brush color for the darker one. Inside of that one, we're gonna add a vertical box. Inside of the vertical box, we're gonna add a text. This text is gonna be variable. I'm gonna call this one recipe name text. Align that to the middle. I'm gonna do a big name here. The color, change that a little bit darker. Maybe something similar to what we had on the other one. Find our shadow. I don't know why I keep missing that. 0.6. That looks fine for us. Under that, you're going to add a border. The border needs to be a little bit darker. So the brush color a little bit down like that. Under that border, we're going to add a wrap box inside a vertical box. Variable. This one is going to be recipe cost wrap box. Under that wrap box, we're going to add another border and then another wrap box. Variable, and this one is going to be called what we got wrap box, right? So we will have the cost and the amount that we have. Underneath that, we're going to add a border just so we can separate a little bit. And then under that one, we're going to add a button. The button will have a text inside of it. Name of this button is going to be craft button. Center that to the middle. Text is going to be craft. It's going to have a 2 padding, maybe. Yeah, 2 padding. You can make this variable if you want. We're just gonna have a craft here, but you can also change this out to whatever you want, like combine, right? You can, depending on what you have. So for now, we're gonna do text, but if you're gonna do combining, you can also implement that here and then change this out to combine and then tweak the logic a little bit. Once this is done, we're gonna head back into our crafting menu and we're gonna add the new widget that we just made in our vertical box. We need to set up some variables. So let's open up our HUD as well. And then we're going to add our crafting menu to our canvas panel, size that, and then I'm going to put it in the middle. Our crafting menu needs the variable of HUDref, as we all know, because everything goes through our HUDref, or everything is accessible through our HUDref rather. So expose that, head over to your HUD, get your crafting menu, set HUDref to ourselves. We're gonna add the toggle functionality to our first person character. So find some that we can also unlock and remove this one. We can also, we're gonna do a keyboard C here, C for crafting, right? And we're just gonna do the logic that we have on the other one. So get the crafting menu. Also, when we go hidden, we need to get the player controller and then set show mouse cursor to be true. And we need to actually change that quickly just before visibility is going to be hidden on that. If I play, click C, it's going to show up and we have the abilities here. Now, we don't really have anything in it, so we need to start generating our categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to our crafting menu. And what we're going to do is we are going to get our craft. We're going to set the visibility of craft to hidden because we don't want to be able to do anything quite yet. And we want to get our crafting category wrap box. I want to set that visibility to be visible because we want to get our categories, right? Once that is done, we're going to get our category wrap box again. We're going to clear children and then we're going to set up some categories. Now you can put this wherever you want. I'm going to put it inside our crafting menu. You can do it wherever you want. And also before I forget that, we do need to make a new struct. So let's head back into our crafting, a new blueprint, and that's going to be a structure. We're going to call this one crafting categories struct. And then also blueprint enum, and this one is going to be crafting categories enum. So on this struct, we're going to have 3 variables. First one is going to be the name, which is going to be of type text. Second one is going to be the icon, which is going to be texture 2D. Third one is going to be our enum, so categories enum, like so. Save that. Now over on your crafting menu, did we set up our enums? No, we didn't. Here we're going to add a couple. We're going to make survival, maybe. We're going to add decor, and we're also going to add a couple more things, right? So here I'm going to add a anvil. Now you might wonder why that is. It's going to be clear in a little bit. Over on your event graph, after we clear the children, we need to set up our crafting categories, which is going to be of type crafting categories struct. It's going to be an array. In here, we're going to add, I'm going to add 3. I'm going to add the first one. It's going to be a survival. It's going to be called survival. And I'm just going to have the axe here. I don't bother to get anything else. Next one is going to be building. And then what we want to do is after we clear the children, we want to get our crafting categories. We want to do a for each loop out of that. Out from this, we want to make a widget. So create widget, which we haven't made yet. So let's do that. This one is going to be called WBP crafting category slot crafting category widget. Crafting category. crafting category. It's gonna have a size box. Size box, override that by 256 by 92. Decide and borders all around. Well, only one border this time actually. Believe it or not. Only one border yet, anyway. Inside this border, we're gonna add a horizontal box. Inside this horizontal box, we're gonna add a image. This is gonna be variable. It's gonna be called category icon. I'm gonna set that image size to be our width, so 92. Our height, sorry, 92. File and save that. That's a category icon. Under that, we're gonna add a border to our horizontal box. Inside of this border is actually gonna be fill as well. We're gonna set this pad to 2 on each sides, and we're gonna add another border inside of that border. The first border is gonna have a brush color though, like a darkish. It's actually it's good enough. It's good enough. It's the padding on our first border that's pissing me off actually. There we go. Now our image don't have one. Fuck. That padding of 1 maybe then. Nah. We don't need that to be padded. Fuck it. Inside of this border, we're gonna add a text. Now you can be as creative as you want here with what you want. So I'm gonna do category name text. It's gonna be variable. I'm gonna center that to the middle. I'm just gonna do category name text, quite big. Maybe down to 14. Change the color a little bit. You can change this however you want it to be. You can make it less. You can make this however you want. This is just gonna be the name of the category. Anyway, back on our crafting menu, we are gonna create our new one, which is our crafting category. The crafting category, we're gonna get the category icon from. I'm gonna set brush from texture. The texture comes from our array element. So just had to restart so I could get access to it. I don't know why that happened. Sometimes Unreal can be a little bit buggy. We're gonna plug in the icon to the set brush. We're gonna get the name text, category name text. Let's set that text to be our text, the name. Our category wrap box, we're gonna set the horizontal alignment of that to be center. After that, I'm gonna add child to wrap box. The content is gonna be the widget that we just created. Like so. If we compile and save that, hit play. Now we got our categories up. Now the fact that our icon doesn't have a border is kinda annoying. We do need a, maybe we can just wrap this with a border, honestly. Let's see if we can do that. Looks promising so far. One in each, and then there we go. Make that dark. Click play. Now we got a little bit more separation. So I'm gonna get this border, this main border over here. I'm gonna set the padding of that. Now this might be counterintuitive, but I'm gonna set the padding of that. I'm gonna make this one maybe like a tint, like so. In our graph, I'm gonna override on mouse enter. I actually need this border to be variable, so compile and save that. This border, I need to set brush color. And I'm gonna set that brush color to be, I don't know, maybe something like this. I'm just gonna do pink. It's gonna be visible, right? And then we want to override on mouse leave. And then we're gonna set brush color to be the original one, which we need to get and copy from over here. So we can copy this brush color then we can paste. No, we couldn't do that. Okay. Maybe we can paste it here. Nah, okay. You want to be a douchebag about it? Open it up. Grab our hex linear. Paste our hex linear. There we go. So now if we hit play, it's going to highlight it. Now, this color scheme is not the best. I understand. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to set up some functionality. So over on your category, we're going to override another function, and it's going to be on preview mouse button down. We're going to check that the mouse is our left mouse button for the branch. If it is our left mouse button, we're going to generate recipes. Now, our recipes, we need to do that over in our crafting menu. So we need a crafting menu ref. And it's going to be of type crafting menu. Expose that. And when we go over here now, when we create it, you can refresh that and do a self on our crafting menu. Back to your crafting category. Get out your crafting menu. Actually, we need to go back to our crafting menu again. Over on your crafting menu, we're going to make a new custom event. This one is going to be generate recipes. And it's going to have an input of the category that we are trying to category. So that's going to be crafting categories, that one. Input category. Compile and save that. When we generate our recipes, we're going to get our crafting category wrap box. We're going to clear the children out of that. Then we need some recipes. Now, also, this one is also something that you can have anywhere you want. The recipes, for me, on this one, I am going to actually have it on our player character. This one is going to be crafting recipes. We need to make a struct for that. Crafting recipes struct. Inside of this struct, we're going to add some variables. So the first one is going to be a name, type text. Second one is the icon. Third one is the cost. Fourth one, the category. And then the final item. Icon is, of course, a texture 2D. Have we set up the cost yet? No, we haven't. So we need a new struct as well. Crafting recipe cost. Inside of recipe cost, we're going to add two variables. First one is the name. No, not the name, sorry, the item. Type master item class. Second one, the quantity, which is a integer. Save that. Over in your recipe struct again, the cost. Now we can add that. So recipe cost, that's a array, because you might want to have multiple. We want the category, so that's going to be crafting category, and then the final item is, of course, our master item. Save that. Over on your first person character, compile it, and then let's add the cost. Now the recipes. There we go. Crafting recipes struct. That's going to be an array. And what we want to do is, if it's when we press C, we want to set the crafting recipes in the crafting category, right? So our crafting category, now in a crafting menu, we're going to add, what do we call it? Or crafting recipes? Crafting recipes. And that's going to be the recipe struct. It's going to be an array. It's going to be exposed and editable. over on your first person character, we're gonna, when we set it to visible, we're gonna set the recipes to our recipes. Is that I think we need to add a custom event here as well for generate categories. And then plug that into there so we can call it over on our here for later. So we can get our crafting menu and generate categories there.